Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and do this video for you guys. I was going to do this as one where I sit in front of the camera and talk, but I'm like, you know what, I want to have this up on the screen because, I made a video kind of the other day explaining that most people really do not know much about their food. Like, it's a cultural problem for us, it's an education problem for us. So when people are at this level of knowledge, how can you possibly expect them to make informed decisions or to even know what sort of things need to be changed or need to be done? That's where we run into problems. And this is one to where I think some people almost thought, because Jason's going to be plant-based, he's going to try to tell us about the dangers of hormones in chickens. And a couple of people kind of did chime in who know the truth. But this was prompted, as you guys caught, who saw the other video, from a conversation I had with someone in person who had said, I really respond badly to the steroids in chickens, and I just wish someone would make a law so they put less in there. Now, this is in America. And that reminded me, that conversation, that there was a survey done a number of years ago on American citizens, and one of the questions that they were asked is, do they put steroids and growth hormone in chickens to give a higher meat yield, right? And 80% of Americans said that they do, and 20% said they didn't. Okay, now before I read this question out, we'll get into that. Here's what it says. So please do not research before voting, as I want to see how informed the average fitness-oriented person is on this topic. In the year 2010, approximately what percentage of chickens raised by factory farms in the USA that were used for meat consumption by the public were given anabolic steroids, testosterone, or growth hormone in order to produce a higher meat yield? Please note this is asking only about the USA. Okay. Of course, then I left the other part you guys can see in there. And it was kind of a trick question because I gave people ranges. And this is where it gets interesting. Look at the biggest range. Okay, 43% of people, that's the largest segment, believe that 51 to 90% of the chickens that were eaten and produced by factory farms, this was done with. Right, that's the biggest number. All right, 31%, second biggest number, said 91 to 100%. All right. You guys know what the answer is? It's 0. And it has been 0 for my entire lifetime. I am 47. Okay? It has literally been a federal law on the books enforced by the USDA that no chicken can be given anabolic steroids or growth hormones if they are going to be consumed by the public. It is illegal. The companies would be fined millions of dollars if they get caught doing it. Okay. This is not a recent thing. I threw the 2010 in, and that was kind of a trick question because people say, well, maybe it's changed since then. No. It's been the law of the land since anabolic steroids were first introduced. The same decade that they were introduced by pharmaceutical industries for humans in America, the laws went on the books. Cattle are given them, not other stuff. Pigs are not. Bison are not. It's illegal for bison, actually. Specifically, bison are outlawed. So are pigs, so are all poultry. So you've never eaten, in the United States, you've never eaten a chicken that's been given this unless you personally did it yourself, like would raise your own chicken that way. All right. But how many people believe that? Okay. People actually believe that it's happening. And it's a legend. It's a myth. It is a pervasive myth that is so high. It is so high that 80% of Americans believe it. When I presented a fitness audience, people, many of whom claim to be very knowledgeable about food and nutrition, right? What percentage got it wrong? Only 13% were in the 0 to 10, which is 0. And a bunch of those, I think a bunch of them realized it was 0. They knew that because they knew the law of the land. Like one of the guys who chimed in a little bit says, I know the answer to my work as a manager behind a meat counter. Right? Just people come in all the time saying, I want hormone-free and antibiotic-free chicken and all this stuff, right? They come in saying those things. And he probably has the answer, well, everything I have on the shelf. But people just don't know. And it's not a poke at people, but I think this highlights the problem that we have. Okay, because this is a serious education discrepancy. This is serious. That people don't know these things. Particularly when those same people have strong opinions about food. When people chime in and say things like, well, I believe this food or that food is healthy. I believe this is good or this is bad. Right? And they start talking about various GMO things, different things given to animals, different things put on crops. And it's like, but do you actually know what is being done? So you say that you're against something. And people will say these things. Do you actually know if the thing that you were describing is being done? Can you name the specific thing being done? Do you know what it does? Are you aware of what the research says or doesn't say regarding it around the world? Do you even know what the current laws are? And I've noticed that with a lot of issues. This is a big problem with the layman in any even political issue, because this is, hey, I want a law change. Well, you're talking politics now. And I see this in other areas, not just nutrition and food. All the time, people say, I want a law change. And it's like, well, it's already a felony. Do you want to make it more of a felony? They're like, wait, what? Yeah, it's already illegal. What are you talking about? Do you want it to go from a felony to a super felony? Are you wanting to increase the fine from $1 million to $10 million? Like, how are you trying to make it more illegal? And they're like, oh, no, I just want it to be illegal. Well, you already got what you want, so why are you making a big fuss about it? But it's the same thing in these cases. And how frequently does that happen with food? I mean, people say that all the time. They'll say, I'm against X or Y as far as food or agricultural practices. But do you even know what you're talking about? Or is it just something you read somewhere? It's a rumor you heard, a myth you heard. And there are whole movements built around these myths that aren't even true. Okay, this is a perfect example. Go research it yourself. Just find out this is illegal. It's been illegal. For most of you, it has been illegal for your entire life. Enforced by federal laws that do check. Okay? So just be aware of these things. And it's good to think or research before we speak. And I see it all the time. People are against all sorts of stuff with foods. I'm like, have you gone and have you looked into this? And I mean looked into it in the peer-reviewed journals, or looked at what the laws or anything says? Or are you just kind of making it up because you heard somewhere? All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.